Woo! Soul Not For Sale. It's the podcast. We're at episode 449. We're almost at 450. We're at episode 449. Let's get right into it. Joe Rogan, Tom Segura are talking about Theo Von. Theo Von is under fire again. If you remember, I made a video weeks ago about how Theo Von got a strike on his YouTube channel because he interviewed RFK a year ago. So they decided to remove some videos, say it went under, I think it was misinformation in regards to health, because, you know, RFK was talking about vaccinations and things of that nature. Now, Theo Von got another video removed and potentially another strike because of the podcast that he did with Roseanne Barr. Of course. Theo Von has been very interesting in who he's chosen to have on his podcast and what videos he's allowed to get through on his podcast. And honestly, I really respect it because Theo Von is just a comedian. No one thinks of Theo Von as somebody who has to really step up as an arbiter of truth. So it's really interesting to see him step into that for no apparent reason. Let's get right into it. Before I bring you there, I got to bring you to the store. Our newest design is the Soul Not For Sale logo with the American flag atop of it, the red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes. Glorious as always. Little tutorial if you want to get onto that catalog. You hit catalog, you go to America's Soul Not For Sale. You click on that and you can see everything we have in our new line of clothing. That's t-shirts for men and women, tank tops for men and women, and hoodies. That's on IamCoachColin.com. And we have more anti-establishment stuff, more Soul Not For Sale stuff, anti-WEF stuff, and something called the Great Resist. Instead of joining the Great Reset, join the Great Resist instead. Oh, Illuminati. Illuminati's stopping me from actually pulling it up, but you can see it there. It's a great, oh, there you go. It's a great shirt. Do not join the Great Reset. Join the Great Resist instead. That website again is IamCoachColin.com. And if you want 10% off, this is what you do. Discount code area. You put in I am Coach Colin, all capital letters, all one word, one L on the Colin, gets you 10% off. You are welcome. And if you're someone who's purchased anything off of that site, you are much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's get into it. There's going to be part of this clip that I actually can't play because it's of Roseanne saying what she said, and YouTube has been taking it down left and right because it touches on the Holocaust. Of course, even as a Jewish person, she cannot be speaking about the Holocaust, I guess. So let's get into it.
Podcast with Theo got pulled from YouTube for hate speech.
It's so funny. I had something with them like a year or two ago.
This is so insane. I'm going to send this to you, Jamie, so we can go over what it is that got them banned, because it's so crazy. I can't even understand it. I don't even understand how this could possibly be real. I'm going to send it to you here. So here is the... there's a thing on Twitter. He put it on Twitter now because that's really the only place you could put something like that if it gets pulled from YouTube, which is...
So they pulled the whole episode, though.
They pulled the whole episode for this, this clip. So we're going to watch this clip. And this is, it's really, I just don't understand how someone could think that this kind of censorship is okay.
Well, hopefully, like, they'll go through the, if you go through the flagging process.
I don't know. Let's go. They can't post for a week. Go full screen, too, please.
In 2012, one of my platform things was I will outlaw bullshit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and I know that horrified people because what will they do now?
Right.
They're addicted to it. They'd rather have that than food or a happy family. They're so addicted to their fucking bullshit.
It's true, huh?
But, you know, comics, I think, we're the less free speech art form. And as long as we're performing, things ain't as bad as they could be. You know, I think that's true.
As long as we're performing, things aren't as bad as they could be.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case throughout time, like with jesters or with people that was trying to speak up and share. There's always been a ceiling on speech, hasn't there, in a way?
Of course. Nobody wants to hear the real truth. They're horrified of it. They'd rather go with bullshit. It's easier.
And
like for the real truth that, you know, and I'm glad that they did set up all these guidelines so that we only are allowed to speak the truth. And the truth is that Biden got 81 million votes by winning 36 counties.
Okay, so now I'm just going to skim over this quickly just because, okay, this is the joke that she made, all right? Because I'm not risking getting my things taken down. But she just basically said, Biden winning the election fairly is just like, you know, no one actually getting hurt in the Holocaust. So her joke was that Biden stole the election. That's what she was trying to touch on. She was trying to say something super obvious, like what happened in World War II, and comparing it to what happened in the past election that we've had. And obviously, this person didn't win the election fairly. That's all she was saying. And she did it in a very roundabout way, and it didn't really make sense. And Theo Von had to ask her 100 times like what she was talking about, because she wasn't saying it with any comedic inflection. She was just saying it very deadpan. Theo didn't understand the joke. The joke's not well told. It's just, it was a bad joke. That was it. If you really had to break it down, it was just a terrible, terrible joke. But again, I will bring up the fact that this woman is Jewish. She's a Jewish lady. And for her to be saying something about the Holocaust, you know, here's what I'll say. You know, I'm black. And you can find many people, I'm going to get the rest of the clip in a second. You can find many people like me who have conservative values, you know, and are right-leaning, and have a lot to say about the black community. You can find tons of videos like that. There's Officer Tatum. I believe there's someone that's called Black Conservative 123 or something like that. There's so many of us. And we talk about the black community in a not so favorable way when it comes to the debauchery and the lack of integrity inside of the music, and how, you know, the black community is brainwashed by the Democratic Party to always vote left no matter what. We speak on it, and it could be seen as negative if you're a black person who is in line with the whole agenda of thing that's been going on. But no one ever takes us down because of it, because we're speaking on our own people. You can go to YouTube right now and type in a myriad, millions of songs that feature young black men talking about how they have shot, killed, and sold drugs to other young black men. And no one takes that stuff down. They just let it fly. Advertising galore. So it's just very weird to me that a Jewish lady can't make a joke, mind you. Because a lot of the things I say about the black community aren't jokes. Officer Tatum speaking on the black community, he's not joking. He's really they're stating opinions. She is joking. She's a comedian. And she brought up, I think this happened because she's bringing up the election and the Holocaust together. I think both of those things are kind of just redlining in terms of the guidelines. She didn't do it well. It's a shitty situation for Theo more than anyone, because Roseanne doesn't care. If you asked her about it today, she'd be like, yeah, I was on his podcast. I don't even remember what I said. What did I say? What's the problem? She doesn't even know. But Theo's the one that suffers. Theo's the one who has his channel very close to being terminated for life. And I think that's pretty shitty. Not on Roseanne's part or anything, just like in general, that he has to go through that just for having someone on and having them say things in a joking manner that just didn't hit the mark, you know? And that's what happens with comedians. They don't always hit the mark. Let's play the rest of the clip.
That's kind of a full ride. Yeah.
That got them pulled. The episode pulled, and he can't post for a week, and it's a strike against his account.
Mm-hmm. And it's all based on the actual Holocaust line, for sure.
It has to be. Yeah, but she's Jewish.
She is.
It's obvious she's Jewish. She's always been Jewish.
It's also obvious if you're listening that when she says that the Holocaust, and that like that many Jews should die,
and that she said it after she said this thing where she's clearly poking fun at Biden, saying, but by the way, I think you can make 81 million if you win those counties.
I don't know the math. I don't know the math.
Was that real? Like, what is a How many counties did Biden win? Does that matter? Look, if you don't think that people voted for Biden because they hated Trump and that 81 million people hated Trump, you're not paying attention.
Yes, it's
like, I don't know if there was some shenanigans with the election. I guarantee you it wasn't 0%.
Yeah.
Like, if you said, like, how much voter fraud was it? It's never 0.
Well, but it's never 0. That's the point.
Right, ever.
It's never 0. But it's also if you do all the research that you can, the valid studies and the reports, even from like hardcore pro Republican counties, it's like fractional voter fraud. People like to
It's probably zealots that work inside the organization that figured out a way to like, oh, this county's got us. Let's hide these ballots.
It's not substantial.
It was a very small amount of counties. I don't know about 36 being accurate.
Okay, so with over 81 million votes, Biden received the most votes of any presidential candidate in history. It's also true that he won a record low number of counties, but counties vary by population size, from those with a few hundred people to others with millions of residents. So county wins don't correlate with popular vote. Right. But if you only win if you have 81 million votes and 31 counties, 36. How many? 36 counties?
Yeah, that's what she was saying. In this, it says that he won 477 counties and Trump won 2,000 counties or something.
So he won 477.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than 31.
It's different than what she was saying.
Okay. So why was she saying that?
She probably got just that information wrong.
509 versus 25.
Oh, so he won 509. Counties. That's a lot of counties. That makes sense. Look, I know people that voted for Biden that wish they didn't now.
Yeah.
But I do know a lot of people who voted for Biden. I don't know whether or not. Look, there's some real problems with these voting machines.
I mean, the other thing that article is saying right there that you were looking at, it said that Trump won like 2,400 counties.
Right.
So it's substantially higher number of counties.
So the real issue at hand with this, like, who care? I don't care about Biden won this and, you know, whatever. I don't care about any of it. Roseanne made a joke. The problem is that it's impacting Theo, and they're like on the attack of Theo Von. And here's another thing. The respect level for Theo, for anybody who knows about him, has to go up, because Theo Von does not have to do this. In my opinion, he's a slapstick comedy comedian. You know, Theo Von has a joke about, like, you know, my friend got bit by a gay guy, so we'll see. You know, like, he tells silly jokes. There's silly jokes and silly stories, and he doesn't have to do stuff like this. They attacked him with Robert F. Kennedy, and he could have just stuck to just interviewing comedians and having a fun time and laughing his ass off. And instead, he decides to double down and have someone like Roseanne on. And here's the thing. You might say, well, he just wanted to have Roseanne on. She's another comedian. He could have edited that part out. Roseanne's not in charge when Roseanne's on Theo's podcast. Arguably, Roseanne is not as big of a comedian as Theo Von is today. She's legendary, but right now Theo is filling stadiums, theaters, huge venues. Theo Von. I know people all over North America that love Theo Von. He doesn't have to do stuff like this. He could have easily just took that clip out and been like, I'm not going to play that. But for some reason, he could have done the same thing with RFK. Could have said, I love you, buddy. But when you started talking about COVID and everything, yeah, I had to just axe that part. Sorry. Just not something I want in my podcast. He could have easily done that. But he's choosing not to. And I think it's really respectable when a guy like that starts to step in to a responsibility that he needlessly feels, to allow people to just speak their whole truth when they're on his podcast. Gotta respect it. And if you haven't heard from Theo Von in a little bit, it's because he keeps getting his videos taken down. He's not. I think he just got into the ability to post videos again. Like, just got. Maybe not. He might have a couple more days before he can actually post videos. He's getting hit hard. And honestly, it's probably a big part of his income, YouTube. So ever since he started taking care of his mental health, like, I don't know if you've ever followed the Theo Von career, but like, he started taking care of his mental health. He stopped doing a podcast with Brendan Schaub because it was just like too much. He stopped doing all of these little things that he felt like he had to do before. He started taking medication because he felt like that was what was best for him. And he's just been really, really stepping up as a man. It's really, really respectable. So if you haven't seen Theo Von's podcast, check it out. It's hilarious. Just type in Theo Von in the search bar that's like up there somewhere. You'll find a bunch of hilarious clips. You see a stand-up. It's just as funny. So I'd check that out. And other than that, like the video. Hit subscribe, like the video, boost us out of the shadow realms. And if you won't click subscribe here, at least go to Theo's channel and click subscribe there. You will not regret it. And other than that, I am out. Episode 449 of the podcast. Let's go.